Hey y'all, Cool Cat Coats here with another video for y'all. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about fasting and the benefits of incorporating that into your routine. Let's get right into it. Okay guys, so first things first, I want to talk to you guys about what fasting is, okay? So for fasting, for people that don't know or maybe have heard of it, is basically the process of just not eating for an extended period of time. There's different kinds of fasts that I'll get into in a minute, but basically you're just restricting your body of any sort of consumption outside of water for several hours all the way up to days. Some people even do it for a week, and I'll get into the different kinds and the different benefits for each. Okay, so the different kinds of fasting that you can do. The most common that I think everyone's heard of is intermittent fasting. Okay, and what intermittent fasting could be, it can look like a lot of different things, but basically you're just taking an extended fast from your normal REM sleep fast. So every single person fasts every day, and you don't even realize you're doing it, but by sleeping for 8 hours, 7 hours, 6 hours a day, you are actually fasting because there's no way for you to consume food unless you're on like an IV or some shit. But basically when you are sleeping, you're fasting. So when you have the opportunity to extend that, that's what people get into intermittent fasting. So I think the most common ways to intermittent fast is, going 12 hours without eating, and there's a 12-hour window where you can eat, and that's got to be a consecutive period, all the way up to like an 18-hour fast, and then you have like a 6-hour window. I think a lot of people might have heard of like Ramadan, something like that for I believe it's the Muslim religion, and during that religion they can only fast for like an entire, I think it's over a month or it's close to a month, and they're only allowed to eat for like an hour or two out of the day for that entire time period, and they're able to drink water and stuff, but that would be really debilitating. It'd be so difficult, but I would love to try sometime. Anyways, so anywhere from a 12-hour fast to an 18-hour fast is super common for intermittent fasting, and during that small window that you're allowed to eat, people think like, oh, you're allowed to eat whatever you want. You could do it that way, and I think it would still have benefits as opposed to like just a normal diet where you eat whenever you want. However, I think it's more beneficial to eat clean during that time, and you will reap way more benefits in terms of just nutrition in your diet if you are willing to eat clean during the fast period. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the fasting that I've done. Intermittent fasting, I stick to like a 16-8, and I do this probably 6 months out of the year. I travel a lot, so during my travel time, I am not intermittent fasting. I'm trying to eat a bunch of delicious food, and I'm banking a bunch of wins when I'm intermittent fasting so that when I'm traveling, I can kind of be off my leash a little bit. So 16 is tough, but within like a week of doing it, you're going to be really used to it. What I do is I just slap on another 4 hours to the end of my day and the beginning of my day, and it makes it really, really easy. So I get up pretty early. I get up around 5 or 6, and so by 10 a.m. I'm able to have my breakfast, and that starts my 8-hour period. And I usually stick right around that 10 unless I've gone crazy the night before and I didn't get enough sleep. So right around 10 a.m. I'm starting my food window, and then I can eat all the way up until 6 p.m. Okay, so that's a pretty normal time to have dinner, and so then I'm just cutting it off and not eating anymore until I go to sleep. What really ruins a lot of people's diets and why fasting is so effective is people eat in inopportune moments. One of those inopportune moments is right before bed. Okay, I think we all know if we stay up late enough, you're just gonna get really hungry because you've gone too many hours since dinner where you haven't eaten. The problem with eating right before you go to sleep is that basically your food isn't digesting properly. So you're just going during that whole fasting period where that food isn't breaking down properly. Your body is going into like rest mode if you will. So I try not to eat before bed. I know everybody says not to do that, but this is like a thing that has helped me with intermittent fasting, is now I really don't eat before bed. Okay, getting into some other fasting methods. So some people will do an entire day. Some people will do a 2-day fast, and some people will even go all the way up to a week fast. Okay, so what this is doing is it's basically resetting your body. Okay, so the number one thing you don't want to do if you're going to do a longer fast like this is do not start your diet with a bad meal. Okay, so when you're doing these longer fasts, you're gonna crave a lot of crazy shit, and the worst thing you can do is deprive your body of nutrients for 2 or 3 days and then start it off with like a McChicken or, you know, anything that's like super processed, super bad. You're just setting your body up to basically expect that kind of garbage in your body. Okay, so if you are trying to start a diet, this is the perfect opportunity. Not only are you going to lose like an initial weight from it won't be too much, but it'll be like a couple pounds that will just like help you see progress right away. But you're literally cleansing your body of all of those toxins, all of those disgusting things in your old diet, and things start to even taste different. Like I can say from my own personal experience, when I've done a 2 or 3 day fast, if I go 2 or 3 days and then I were to drink something or eat something that's really bad, it tastes like almost like it's a carcinogen. It tastes like poison. Like I remember one time I did a 2-day fast, and then 3 days later after finishing the fast, I drank a soda because I'm super addicted to soda. You know, I've been able to kick that habit for the most part, but I'm super addicted. So 2 or 3 days go by after I'm done fasting, I'm doing good with my diet, and then I break and I have a soda. Okay, this soda tasted like it was like rotting my mouth. The sugar content was way too overwhelming. So it's nice because it literally not only cleanses your body of all the toxins, but it also is cleansing your palate of like the addictive properties that are in food that like we hit and we just get that dopamine rush. I was getting a dopamine rush only because I was craving it so much, but I could taste how terrible it was. And normally my brain tricks me and basically tells me like, no, this is amazing, you're loving this. But in that instance, or when you do finish a fast, you will not feel that way. So that is one benefit. You know, in terms of a 2 or 3 day fast, you need to be really careful. Okay, not all people can do this. Like I wouldn't do it. I'm actually positive that you're not supposed to do it if you're, you know, breastfeeding, if you're pregnant, you know, if you have any sort of chronic disease that, you know, doesn't favor not getting nutrients, then I would stay away from fasting in general. Intermittent, you'd probably still be fine, but in general, fasting has so many benefits that I'm going to get into very, very shortly. In terms of intermittent fasting, the benefits are going to be elongated, okay? Intermittent fasting isn't something you do for a week. Intermittent fasting kind of becomes part of your lifestyle, okay? You don't have to do it forever, but in order to see long-term benefits, you will have to do it more than just, you know, a week. I think you could see tiny progress in a week, but in general, you're going to want to see like 3 months, 2 months, a month before you're going to see real progress and feel that difference with intermittent fasting. Okay. With long-term fasting, it has a lot of benefits. Okay. Those benefits include, you know, cellular repair. Basically, when your body is being starved, your cells are freaking out, and so what they do is they start repairing all of the negative things that your diet does to them, and they start to like try to heal your body. It's like an organic healing, because they're worried that you're gonna die. Like your body is in survival mode, and so your cells start really working for you. Okay. The other thing that's really beneficial is for people that are pre-diabetic. This is like one of the best things you can do before starting your new diet, because basically it regulates your insulin. You know, diabetes has a lot to do with your insulin monitors in your body start breaking. Okay, so when you starve yourself for a couple days, basically it re-regulates your insulin system. Okay, I don't know how this works. I'm not a scientist, but I know for a fact that it re-regulates your insulin system, and basically it starts to fire on the correct cylinders again. And so when you do start that new diet, now your insulin system is working properly, so you're going to get the proper nutrients, and it can take all that nutrients and put it into your body. So that's another big benefit. I don't know if this has anything to, like, if it correlates with the insulin thing, but it's really good for heart disease and heart health. I don't know why. It's probably because I know for a fact that when you do fast, it is detoxifying your body. It's getting rid of like all of that negative stuff in your body, and then you start a new routine, and I'm guessing just that fresh start is just clearing out a lot of the stuff in your body. Don't get me wrong. There's some people, you know, if you're 500 pounds and you're just getting started, your heart disease problems is not going to go away in one foul swoop, but it is just a good like kicker into that. And if you do have decent health, but you're, you know, maybe fell off a little bit, a longer fast can help with that. The thing that I get from it, okay, those are all great benefits, but I'm in pretty decent shape. So for me, I don't do it for those benefits. Those are just like extra things for me. For me, what really excites me is what it does for me mentally, okay? I don't get this from intermittent fasting, but from 2-day fast, 3-day fast, I go into like a meditative state, okay? My brain starts to become extremely clear, and it's weird. It almost feels like, I'm not a drug user, so I can't say this, but from what people describe about certain hallucinogens, it's a little similar. Now, don't think that you're gonna start hallucinating and like not be able to drive your car. That's not the case. But you go into a different kind of zone in your brain, and during this zone, you're able to deep think more. Things become more clear. The nutrients that we get from processed food in America, it gives us brain fog. We've all heard that term, but we know what it is. Like if you bite into a Chick-fil-A sandwich, you instantly just start getting these hundreds of chemicals that are firing that we're not supposed to process. We don't have the right means in our body to process these chemicals. So when you are fasting and it's clearing all the toxins from your brain, from your body, basically you start entering into a mental clarity, because not only are you going into survival mode, but you're also, there's no chemicals to think about. Don't get me wrong. You're going to think about some yummy food. You're going to think about some like stuff that you crave, but you get this weird sense of clarity that I can't understand. Now, I will say it won't be just completely clear. During this, like let's say a 3-day fast, let's use that as an example, you will go through waves where you feel just unbelievably tired, unbelievably stale, unbelievably gray, and that's a challenge, okay? But what it does is it's building mental dexterity, and when you do get through the 3-day fast, your brain is going to feel really, really strong. It's going to feel really, really healthy, because not only are you not going to take food for granted anymore, but you're also have, like I said, cleansed all the negative stuff out of your body and out of your brain. So you go through these waves of like feeling like just a complete NPC. You feel like you're just like going through the motions, spacing out all the time, and then you'll have these 4-hour periods of time where you basically just feel like the world is colorful again for the first time. Like everything you're noticing is all these minute details, and it's beautiful. It's really, really scary to think that most of the time we're going on autopilot, and all it takes is putting our body into a fight or flight kind of stance, and then all of a sudden things become so beautiful. We take things for granted, which it's really just eye-opening about, you know, how much we've changed as creatures. And this used to be kind of what it was like all the time. We'd always be fighting for survival. We'd always be fighting to find our next meal. And now we don't have that as like a weakness. Instead, we have other weaknesses like, you know, screen time and like just all these processed foods that we're consuming that are so easy to get. Okay, so the other thing about fasting is it does kick off your weight loss journey, okay? You know, if you do end up fasting for 2 days all the way to a week, you will see weight loss initially. I wouldn't put all your stake in this, but it can feel nice to like jump on the scale and be like, look, I already did, and maybe that's a motivator to just keep going. I will say, in my experience, I don't feel like I'm losing all fat, okay? I think I might be losing some muscle too, because I don't necessarily feel strong. When I do my fasts, I work out still, and I'm not getting the most out of my lifts. I'm still able to lift. No, that's a misconception. You can still work out, you can still do anything. You don't want to run a marathon or something, be dehydrated, but you do want to still be exercising. You just don't want to break that habit, you know what I mean? But you're not going to be able to hit any sort of like max that you normally would. You know, you might have to lift at 80%, 70%. It's still great for habit building, but that leads me to believe that when I do fast, I think I might be losing half fat, half muscle. Okay, so that weight loss is not super beneficial to me, but to somebody who's extremely obese that needs to just get the ball rolling, that could be extremely beneficial. You know, you want to just start that journey somewhere, okay? So when it comes to that weight loss, I just want to preface, like, I don't believe that all of that weight is going to be fat. It's going to be some muscle, and so you do want to supplement with weightlifting, and I think that will, any sort of resistance training will make sure that you retain as much muscle as possible while you're fasting. And yeah, the longer you fast, the more weight you're going to lose initially. But like I said earlier, like, I want to put so much emphasis on this. Don't fast. I mean, if you're going to do it for mental things, great, but don't fast unless you're going to start a better diet afterwards, okay? If you have a toxic diet, or if you have a really negative diet, doing a fast can hit that reset button, and it's going to actually have negative effects on you if you come right out of that fast and just eat trash again, okay? So just do yourself a favor and please do the right things when you come out of that fast, and things will taste better. I'm not gonna lie, like, a piece of celery after a fast feels like you're getting sweets, you know? It's so, it almost, you can taste the sugar, just the natural sugar from the earth that is healthy for you too. That's the only kind of sugar that's healthy for you. So yeah, just please make sure you start your diet off right, and eat clean as you can. You don't have to be perfect, but eat as clean as you can, or cleaner than you were before post-fast. The other thing, please, this is the most important thing when it comes to fasting. You have to drink a lot of water, okay? This isn't a joke. You know, you can go probably a month without eating, without dying. You can't go a week without water. Like, you have to drink water, and some of us are really bad about doing this. Please hydrate in general, but I'm telling you right now, you will not make it. You will be in hell if you don't drink water, and it's like the only treat that you're gonna have is I fill my stomach with water when I'm fasting. I drink, you know, probably too much water, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I drink 2 or 3 gallons over the course of a day while I'm fasting, but please just get close to a gallon. If you get close to a gallon, you're gonna be very hydrated, and you're going to, you know, actually be able to survive the fast in a positive way. When I say survive, you're not gonna literally die, but you are going to be able to get through it so much easier, and you're gonna be, like, reaping more health benefits. You have to stay hydrated in all, like, any health tip. If you're not hydrated, you're not gonna make it, and it's not gonna reap the maximum benefits. Okay, some ways that I've heard, I don't personally do this, but some ways that I have heard that people help themselves with fasting is 2 ways. Some people will do a water and coffee fast. Okay, so all they're getting is caffeine and water. So caffeine's a stimulant. It can help with mood. It can help with your metabolism. And so some people really do see benefits to being able to boost their mood during a fast. I personally just think go all natural. You know, people weren't drinking coffee or any sort of caffeine stimulant when they came up with fasting thousands of years ago, as like a meditative practice. And I think you can reap the most benefits if you just stick to water. But I know that some people just need that stimulation, and some people are so addicted to caffeine that it's like they probably just can't see themselves doing it, and I wouldn't want to detract you from fasting just because of maybe you're addicted to caffeine. You can do it the other way. Is you could probably get access to, like, I don't know if there's caffeine tablets that you could put in, but I'm sure there's something like that you could incorporate so you don't have to drink coffee. But that is a caveat. You actually can do it with coffee and water as your fast. I would say just don't overdo it with the caffeine. Like, you don't want to zap your body or try to, like, somehow compensate with coffee, but definitely only black coffee, okay? Another thing that I think is beneficial, I do this sometimes, but sometimes I just forget to do this, but adding salt to your water. You know, sodium, people have a lot of misconceptions about sodium. Sodium is something that your body actually needs to survive. Now, the thing is, most of our foods are so processed and so injected with all these GMOs and so much sodium content that, you know, we get overloaded with sodium in our diets over here. But salt is an essential thing, and I've found when I do, like, have my brain connected right and I do put little salt packets into my water, yes, it makes the water taste a little bit worse, I'm not gonna lie, but it is beneficial, and I do feel like I just get a little more energy from that, and my body's just a little bit more, like, happy with going through the fast, getting that satiation from the salt. So yeah, I would do that. Another thing, like, don't be afraid to, like, you know, stretch, do workouts. Like, I think that is what gets me in the meditative state the easiest, is when I am working out, when I am deep thinking, or I'm at work, when I do, like, a really nice stretch or yoga. Like, those things put you in this zone that, like, meditation just correlates with perfectly, okay? So don't be afraid to, like, just be active while you are fasting. All right, y'all, thank you so much for watching this video. I just want to ask for one favor. Please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. You guys don't know how much it helps me on this journey that I'm on, and we're on this journey together now. I'm trying to build a community here. Go ahead and comment down below if this is influencing you to maybe you want to try your first fast, or if you have experience with fasting and what that experience was like, okay? I just want to continue to push a message of hope. I want you guys to stay gracious, you know, continue to pass on positivity, positive vibes, positive information, and yeah, just stay cool. Peace.